Hurley is the ultimate pragmatist, beyond practical. People are disposable, which is how I view life, actually, if you want to know the truth. Cold-hearted approach to things. That's basically who he is. Comes from years and years of experience, but somebody like that has got to want to have a life that requires that. This is not a thing like, I think I'll kind of take that job. So some people have a purpose-driven life. He's really got a purpose-driven life.
Well, Mitch, the way I always saw Mitch, and it's an origin story, and so I think, we meet a 25-year-old kid, very full of life, this bright, in love kid on vacation, and I think then it's about being with this guy when he's going through this time in his life that's very difficult, and he's clearly struggling with things, and so stemming from what he went through, and he's lost a lot, and he's isolated himself a lot, and he's suffering from the effects of this trauma that he went through, and he has a vengeance, and it's all about not knowing how to process what happened to him. He's so angry, and he's never, he's taken all the negative routes in terms of handling those things, where he's kind of just now driven to kill, and he wants, and that could spiral out of control. He could get himself killed. He can, he doesn't understand what happened to him, and it's kind of about you watching him sort of go through this arc of figuring it out, and processing what happened to him, and understanding that it'll be with him forever, and nothing's going to immediately happen that's going to wipe away everything, which is what he wants for so long. And then he understands that it's more about, he has this opportunity to kind of be an asset to the country, and prevent this from happening to anyone else.
Well, the one thing he and I were both concerned about, we didn't know that we were both concerned about till we met on the set. We didn't want to make, I don't want to say a dumb movie, we wanted to make a new one. We were more interested, I liked the idea of just doing a fun action movie, to be honest, and then I liked the idea, because it's such a serious issue, I liked that idea, but I didn't like the idea of doing some sort of cliche-ridden, black and white, all these people from this part of the world are evil. It's so intensely complex in real life that we thought, well, at least this has to be nuanced, and Michael Cuesta was way ahead of us on that. That's all he wanted to do, is make it a little more complicated, and because it's really, really complicated out there, obviously, or it is to me anyway, but maybe not to the rest, to a lot of people, but this is all complex. So, and you have to tell it in 2 hours, you have to tell the story in 2 hours, and you have to be excited and have fun, for lack of a better word, and enjoy it, but just try to make a smarter version of this if you can,
I hope, the goal was the thing that I thought was cool about it, and I hope people think is interesting about it, is it's fresh, we haven't necessarily seen that. I think we haven't necessarily seen how any of the action heroes that we know of, where they came from, how they came to be, and I think it's cool to dive into that story, especially one that's completely written with, absolute tragedy. There's something that's really personal about that story, and something that's really realistic about it too, that you find out, when talking to these guys, that a lot of them, funny enough, have come from that same kind of thing in their life too, that has led them to this life, and so I thought that was a really interesting look into these guys in real life, and like where they come from and how they end up there, how they end up fighting for our country.
Well, I'm odd in this regard. There's a really simple scene. We're sitting outside of the cafe. I just kind of liked what was written, and also I thought, wow, I'm in Rome making a big international movie that was really fun. But I do like, sometimes I prefer, look, I can't say I didn't enjoy the the physical scenes because I do enjoy them. I do like it because I like how ridiculous it is that I actually could beat one of these stuntmen up. I like the silliness of it. But you're like a big kid. You get to do it. It's fun. I can't admit. But a lot of times I like the smaller scenes. I like the scene, where I speak with my Iranian kind of counterpart. I like the scene with he and I sitting there at the cafe, which actually was cut down because it had to be edited for time, and also it made more sense in telling the story. Like all movies are made like that. That's what it comes down to. And you think, well, when two guys are around, wonder what conversations like. They're not constantly chasing people in cars.
It's all they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I let same with Michael. I mean, those are always great moments too that surprise you a little bit. Like you have a sit down seat with someone, and that can be more entertaining, throughout the day and fun to do and dive into and experiment with than a fight scene. But I really did enjoy the fight scenes too. All the action stuff I loved, and that's always a good way to spend a day at work too. Makes time go by. You're getting really into it. It's a whole different art too. Working, being physical like that with a camera as well. The gun training was like some of my favorite stuff. So the shooting range scene was really fun for me, and the whole movie.
Okay, action movie fans, I've got a list of 10 of the most violent action movies ever made. Coming in at number 10, Dredd from 2012, directed by Pete Travis and starring Carl Urban. Number 9, Mel Gibson's Braveheart from 1995. Number 8, 2003's Old Boy, directed by Chan Wook Park. Number 7, Natural Born Killers from 1994, directed by Oliver Stone and starring Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis and Tom Sizemore. Number 6, Sylvester Stallone's John Rambo from 2008. Number 5, Robocop from 1987, starring Peter Weller. Number 4, Battle Royale from 2000, directed by Kinji Fukasaku. Number 3, Martin Scorsese's Casino from 1995, starring Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone and Joe Pesci. Number 2, Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill. And number 1, Mel Gibson makes it onto the list again with his 2004 film The Passion of Christ. So, what do you think? Do you agree with this list? Let me know below. To receive all the latest movie trailers the moment they are online, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to also check the notification bell. Bye bye!